This week on the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast, a busy week as Alex takes a road trip.
Arsenal versus Liverpool at the Eagles Stadium in Philly.
Randy has an eventful visit to Massachusetts.
And my disc was just sitting in the basket, which was pretty rad.
And Jason relives his childhood.
Played laser tag and crushed a bunch of 7-year-olds at it.
We take a look back at the PDGA elections. Did everybody here vote?
I did.
Yep.
Corey?
Damn it, you were supposed to know this.
And a possible change for New York Team Challenge.
The potential to move to a roster reserve instead of roster moves during the season.
We also had a tournament to recap. Thankfully, Jamin made my job easier by keeping this clip relevant.
Smart, because I'm going to beat Kyle Hirsch by at least one.
Exactly.
Also, there are still spots available for the Stonykill Scramble, the Ace Race at Colonial Acres, and Artemis Unchained 3 at FDR. Welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast. This week we got Alex, Randy, Corey, Jason, and we are pleased to have the winner of the ElectriCity Classic 2024 edition, Jamin Hume. Congratulations, Jamin.
Thank you. It's been a while since we had the winner of an event on a podcast. This is great.
We got a lot to talk about. We might get to that at some point tonight. I'll make every effort to talk about the ElectriCity Classic. But I did want to start, I guess, in way of explaining. Alex, you ever been to the dentist?
Yes.
When's the last time?
Actually, about a month. Not too long ago.
Randy, same question.
I'm going to guess like 2 years.
Okay. Corey?
I think like 3 months was my last biannual or... Wait, was biannual every other year or twice a year?
It's either.
Yeah, I think it's used both ways.
Okay, let's skip the dentist chat for a second. How could that mean two different things?
Yeah.
Every other semi would be half.
Bi-weekly. No one can decide what bi-weekly means, though.
It means every other week. Let's not confuse this. It means every other week. If you want to do it twice a week, it's semi-weekly.
It should
Because
be,
people
but
misuse
it's
it
not.
doesn't make it right. No.
There's the argument between connotation and denotation, like the dictionary definition or popular usage.
Mm-hmm.
But I would tend to agree with Jason on that. But
So my answer is 4 months, which means
4
we're
months?
getting close to another one.
What about you, Jason?
It was like a couple months ago.
And Jamin?
It's been a few years. I need to get back into the swing of going to the dentist. I kind of missed one appointment and then just like didn't reschedule.
Oh, because your mom wasn't making the appointments for you anymore, so you're like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah, that's it. That's no.
Well, today was the first time I've ever been to the dentist.
Oh.
And I'm
Ever?
48.
Ever.
When I was in fourth grade, they had a dentist come in, but no, I've never been. But about 20 to 30 years ago, I don't even remember anymore. I must have fallen and like hit my jaw or something. One of my two front teeth. I developed a crack down like almost like a hairline fracture, which I just always noticed there because I could feel it with my tongue kind of thing. But eventually, like the last 6 months or so, it started chipping. So yeah, I got a couple chips in my teeth, so I have to get them fixed. And even that, when it first started happening, I'm like, I don't really care. It doesn't hurt, but it's starting to hurt. So I had to go today and get a bunch of x-rays. The guy's like, when's the last time you had an x-ray? I was like, never. He's like, well, it only goes up to 5 years, so I'll put 5 years. He did say he was surprised by looking at my films, other than the chipped teeth, I imagine. But he did say he's surprised that I'd never been to the dentist because my teeth were in decent shape.
I would say almost every single time, not even most, that someone has said they haven't been into the dentist ever, or at the very least 10 years. Like, you could tell. You can kind of tell. I wouldn't be able to tell.
Well, I also think there's some genetic things. You know what I mean? Like maybe you're susceptible to a sickness or something. I might just have good teeth. I might have got lucky in that regard. But I mean, and don't get me wrong, I still got to get a cleaning. I got to get a bridge. I got to get a bunch of shit. So the next month and a half or two is going to be miserable. So I figured that's what better way to start a podcast than to be miserable. With that said, though, I got stuff kind of organized, but I don't. And it's a lot of half-assery, I'll be
We're
honest.
getting crazy tonight, baby.
Yeah.
Wild
so
card.
That was hole 8 because I wanted to make sure it got in there. So, so why don't we start at the top? Alex, hole 1 through 9, 8 has been used.
I am sticking with lucky number 7.
All right, this is a quick one. I thought it was interesting. Jamin a couple weeks ago added that question about the 200-foot thing. I think that's a good question to ask people. But also, just based on reaction, I think another question we got to add is how many unique courses have you played? I just thought I'd throw in a couple because a few people mentioned, like on the Facebook page and on our messenger and such, their numbers. So I thought I'd just throw them out there. Jamin, you said 136 courses in 17 states?
Yeah, I keep a Google Doc with everything on it.
Nice.
What was your favorite one?
Ooh.
I wasn't expecting an answer on that one.
Oh, okay. Then
Well, you can answer
a
that
that.
one.
standout or two. Yeah.
It was just a joke about how you played 136 courses. How could you pick one?
my top two courses are Brewster Ridge, just the whole facility, Fox Run and Brewster Ridge, and Lake Marshall. Between those two, that's really 4 courses, so it's kind of a cop out. Either one of those places, I feel like I could play disc golf, 3 or 4 times a week and not get tired of it. So they're just like really, really phenomenal places. I'd have to think about the top 5, but top 2 is easy.
I don't think that's much of a cop-out, though. I mean, it's kind of like saying Warwick.
Yeah.
You could count Oasis in that. You can count Wolf Woods in that. It's the experience. We also heard from Will Byrne, who played 196 courses in 12 states and 2 countries. And apparently the other country is not Jersey. I think it's England. Kevin Kroenke had only 17 courses in 2 states. And Corey's nemesis, Rob Quincy, has 14 states and around 100 courses. I just thought that's notable.
Yeah, no, I like it.
People seem to like talking about it. So
Yeah, we got to shout out our engagers. You got to start handing out those top fan badges on the Facebook page.
I assumed that was an automatic thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, Randy, what hole? 7 and 8 are out.
3.
Perfect. You asked. You said you had an update on New York Team Challenge?
Oh, yeah. Maybe we can get into it on here. Hopefully everyone's read into it a little bit, even though not all of us are captains, but the potential to move to a roster reserve instead of roster moves during the season.
What does that mean?
These numbers aren't final, but we'll use what the numbers were when it was proposed. So you'd have a reserve of 4 male matching players and 2 female matching players for the season. And those are like permanent. You could think of it as a bench potentially. So it's just like a freely moving pool of players. Or you could really just use them as fill-in spots. So like people that are just along for the ride and they'll fill in when needed. So you can think about it 2 ways. But either way, there's no penalty for moving players around from that roster reserve.
Would you still have the ability to add people?
So just the 4 or 2, that would be it for the season.
Yeah, you fill up your bench and then that's it.
What's everybody's thoughts on that?
I personally like the idea of not being able to pull from literally any disc golf player because I kind of feel like it makes... What was the roster moves last year? 15?
Either 15 or 18.
It makes sense. New York Team Challenge is supposed to be a little more low-key or casual and being able to pull other people in. But I don't know. It kind of just makes like the roster almost not feel as important because you could pull 3 new people in, or I guess 2 new people every single match for the entire season. I kind of like the idea of having a more established team, and it makes those potential like bench players or whatever kind of feel more important as far as a pick. And like, you're not going to have people that just play one event. I like it. I like it, I think.
I like it as well, if only because I tend to be the person doing the research and matching up, projected PDGA ratings and figuring out everything there. So, when people can show up to a match with, 8 new people from earlier in the season, it just makes things a little bit more difficult on that end. And yeah, I also like the idea of being a little bit more committed to the team, so to speak. Like if you're wanting to play, but you can only show up to like 2 matches, then yes, that'd be great, but it's also a little bit annoying to people who want to commit to, the full season.
And one more thing, I never really pay attention to it, but then it also comes into play like, there's an entry fee for the team, but now you have like 15 other people that like they played 1 match, they played 6 matches. Mm-hmm. Like who's paying what part of the share? Is only the actual rostered people paying for the full thing? And then what happens if you get paid out? Do the people that played 1 match get part of it? And how much of it? And blah, 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 blah. Like, just to reiterate, I like the idea of a set team as opposed to something that's so pliable. Fluid, yeah.
My only complaint is this really cuts into my plans on becoming a mercenary.
Well, you can only be a mercenary for 1 team, though.
Yeah, could you switch?
That's called a team member.
I was under the impression that once you were on a roster for any team, you couldn't sign up for a different team.
Yeah, that's why we locked in your sister. When she played for J Park 1 month, she couldn't play for Stonykill.
So first off, I do like it. But one thing that has me concerned is some of the decision making at the end of the season. We pretty consistently are missing someone every match. We never have the same exact team every single match. And if we have a really dedicated reserve player, we are probably going to end the season with a reserve player that has played 7 matches and a permanent member that has played like 3. And if they're at a similar skill level, it's kind of a tough spot to like bench someone who's a roster player and take that reserve player for finals, because it seems like they earned it. And Corey brought up the money thing, and I didn't even think about that. That throws another wrench in the gears. So it does seem like if we're going to use the reserves as more of a bench instead of just fill-in players, then basically everyone should pay an equal share and kind of be treated the same.
So what happens if, even with your reserve players and your rostered players, you still can't come up with enough people for a match?
I mean, that's the same as it's always been. It was just easier in the past because you could pull like a random person. So, you take penalty points. That's it, basically.
I think that's like the biggest downside. It's kind of a trade-off. You're going to encourage higher rated, more elite players to be on teams and discourage people that are more casual. Like there was instances when I was captain, like when we played SPW, I pulled my brother, I pulled a guy from work, I pulled like just random people that have never played Team Challenge to get them in, just so we would have numbers. And I didn't care if I used roster moves because we had enough. But with this rule change, I think in those situations, I'd probably just be missing people because you can't really pull anybody else.
Do you have like an IL or something? If somebody, it doesn't even have to be an injury, but like say, something came up and I'm moving or something, can you replace a person, or is that?
I mean, we haven't finalized the rule yet. I think we're going to end up proposing some amount of flexibility, whether it's extending it to 5 or 6 people or just having like a single roster move for something weird like that, where something completely unexpected takes someone out for the season. Because it would be brutal to, you could have 4 people carpooling to an event and have something go wrong, and like hopefully they're all good, but you could lose all 4 players in one moment. So yeah, it'd be good to have a little bit more flexibility, but I think the 4 players isn't that crazy either.
Yeah. Plus, I suck at recruiting. So this means I would have to recruit less.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely simplify a lot of the calculations and stuff too. Because when you get people out of the, just random people, sometimes, it's tough to track them.
All right, Corey, 3, 7, and 8 are out.
Well, since my car is about to hit 266,666 miles on my way to work tomorrow, let's go with hole number 6.
Make sure you have your coffee and everything so you don't forget.
Yeah.
Okay, so a few weeks back, Jamin was awesome and got us a couple guests. James Carmen and Scott Sherwood, they were running for state coordinator for New York, and the elections have come and gone. And I thought we could take a look at the results and to see what everybody's thoughts were. I didn't want to talk about it before anything like that. I just thought we'd wait until everything was official, and Jason was kind enough to pull the results. So it looks like James Carmen won. He had 207 votes to Scott Sherwood's 135 votes, with 12 write-in candidates, including Bill Newman. And one guy on here twice, they just spelled it differently. Connor McKeag and Connor McKeague. William Quinn, 111213. Stephen Bailey. Nicholas Cardone. Logan LaForest. Eric Tripany. Eric Lutz. Eric Bowers, 104840. David Kopp. And Arian Cartret, 216938. First of all, does anybody know any of the write-in candidates other than Newman and Bowers who we've had on?
Arian's a Greenwich guy.
Okay.
I thought I recognized that name.
Yeah, you probably played with Azaria, his son.
Oh, I was going to say, these are a little younger getting written in, but I didn't realize that their names were so similar.
3 people abstained also, just for official tally information.
Where was this posted?
Jason?
Was it emailed to us?
PDGA, probably?
I wasn't sure if it was Discap or this group or some other group that had posted the results.
The only one I saw was the one Jason sent us.
Yeah, I saw some screenshots, but I didn't see anybody actually post the results.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Did you send a screenshot into our group chat?
No, I think I sent did I? Oh yeah, maybe I did send the screenshot.
You did.
Yeah. Sorry if I didn't send the link.
Oh, no, yeah, there it is. No, this is exactly what I was thinking of.
Did everybody here vote?
I did.
Yep.
Corey?
Damn it, you were supposed to know this. I think I forgot.
It's okay.
I mean, I kept remembering and then kept forgetting, as it goes.
I didn't vote either, but mine was more of it doesn't affect me as much. I don't play as many tournaments as you guys, and I thought in the interest of letting the players make the decision, if that makes sense. I'm not running tournaments. I think it definitely affects people who are running tournaments. Now, if any of those people said, hey, vote for this guy, I might have done that, but I'm not saying they needed to either. I'm the press. I didn't want to, be biased by anything. I saw Kevin Kroenke had commented that Scott seemed to be more engaged and open to doing more, but the flip side of that is you don't know until he starts doing the job. You could say anything. At least James was pretty upfront and saying, there's certain things I just can't do based on time and availability, but he can certainly do the job. So I guess it could be a situation where it's what you know versus what you don't know.
Personally, I was oddly surprised and not surprised by the number of votes. I was a little surprised it was like so close, I suppose. I mean, 58 to 38%. I would like to see Scott run again next time. In between now and then, maybe put some more things on his resume that will kind of really back up some of his ideas and see if he still has the same enthusiasm. How often does this go? Does anyone know?
Every 2 years.
2 years. Yeah, so I'd like to see him run again in 2 years and maybe build up some pedigree. And
well, what do we think? It's only 357 ballots cast in the entire state of New York. That seems a bit low.
Yeah, that's nothing.
I gotta guess that like at least 20 to 30% of those came from our area. Like just
that's got to be like 10% of the PDGA members in the state. If I was just like guessing,
like I'm just assuming. Obviously, I have no numbers to back it up, but I just feel like us kind of like talking about it here, and I mean talking about it like out in the course, just from us talking about it. I'm sure people that weren't going to vote just paid attention to the email and just picked. But
well, with that few ballots cast, you could argue we might have actually made a difference.
yeah.
If you had told me this like before I saw there's 357 ballots cast, I would have said, yeah, there's no chance that we would affect anything. I'm not saying it made the difference, but it could definitely be an influence. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, what was it going to be? Maybe there would only been 100 votes.
Now, if there was one vote for Ryan Travis 148343, I would have definitely known that we had.
Yeah, that's true. I would have wrote him in with I wouldn't write the numbers as long as there's enough text box to put it in. I'd spell it out with the letters so that we would really know.
I think it was great that we did it. Especially being able, Jamin, to get both of those guys. Did you know either of those guys going in?
I knew James. Been talking to him a lot because of states, but I did not know Scott. So yeah, no, it was cool that they both went on. I thought, like Corey said, I feel like we're probably one of the main voting regions, and then the other one's going to be Buffalo, and everybody in Buffalo knows them, and then nobody else in the state probably really knows either of them. So I think it's nice to get some kind of a grasp on the people that are doing stuff for the state on that level, even if it is, kind of simple stuff like keeping track of a spreadsheet and that kind of thing and checking distances.
I am curious, Randy, you said you think the 357, that's about 10%. Does that seem low? You're talking about 3,500 PDGA members in New York?
Yeah, that seems even low. I don't know how to look up like active members versus just like registered total. But if just a guess would be 10%. I don't know.
2,203 New York PDGA members.
That means active and inactive or just active?
It'd be nice if I had an example.
I mean, so that would be like whatever, 12 or 15%.
Whoa, what the frig?
Yeah.
I'm on the PDGA player statistics page, right? And it's players in New York, and it was sorted by points. And literally, Jamin Hume has the fourth highest PDGA points in New York, followed by Kyle Hirsch. By 62 and a half points. Damn, if I said one out, I saw three. They both start with 3-4, and I'm like, there's no fucking way, right? Kyle Denman, Matt Miller, Tucker Kozlowski, Corey Cook. That's your top 20. But yeah, if I change it to 2023, how many were there last year? 3,091. Ooh, we lost 800. What was the total vote count?
357.
Okay, so a little over 10%.
That's crazy. I mean, PDGA needs to work on retention. They got this big boom from COVID. It seems like it might not be keeping them.
It's actually kind of crazy. In 2020, there was 1,160 New York members. 2023 was like the biggest year, 3,091 in the past 4 or 5 years. Assuming what I'm looking at is accurate. I'm not missing something.
Do we care about any of the other elections that were happening for PDGA?
I didn't look at them, but if you want to,
I didn't look at them. I don't know anything about them. I just figured I'd bring it up just in case.
I had some teeth problems, so I wasn't really doing any extra work there, Alex. I'm sorry.
That's fair. That's fair.
Does anyone have any too long didn't read strategies for those board positions? Because I definitely just skim and find out what their occupations were, and I base my vote solely on that. So sorry,
bad if they're
everyone
good,
else. I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I did not go in depth on any of them for any amount of time.
Just going through some results. Interesting in Kentucky, Tommy Bronson had 93 write-ins.
I wonder how that works. If like Newman won based on write-ins, would he have to do it?
Yeah.
You must be.
You have to do this volunteer position.
Because then we could do a Sanjaya thing in 2 years, vote for Sanjaya.
So he had 93 write-ins. The person that won had 94,
Mm.
or 94 votes.
Wow.
If I'm reading this right. So he lost by 1 vote, and they were all write-ins. That's crazy.
That is. There's no other writing candidates who have a spelled incorrectly named.
I was going to say the same thing.
It's put in there different ways. Like some of them have his PDGA.
Oh, so you're adding them all up.
No, they do that for you, but they actually list all the write-in candidates too. But they have, his name, and then they write 93 and then dash write-ins for 44.29% of the votes.
Wow.
And the winner had 44.76.
That's great.
It's a heated race down in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. It's that bluegrass. The disc skip off of it different. All right. Well, Jason, what hole?
I don't even know why you asked me, Pat. We're going to go hole 1.
All right. This cat presents the 2024 ElectriCity Classic. Tournament director Jeff Wachowski, assistant tournament director Kenji Klein. This was at Central Park in Schenectady. Is that correct?
Yes.
Looks like it's a full field. 11 divisions. Who played? I got Alex played. Okay.
If you can call what I did playing.
You could tell us all about it in a minute. Corey and Jamin. Is that it? No Jason or Randy?
Nope.
What I'll do is I'll go through the lower divisions and work our way up. We'll get to Alex at MA1 and go from there. So, like I said, 11 divisions. MA3 winner was Eric Malone, shot a -12. MA2 was won by Ryan Lawrence by 4 strokes over Ross O'Toole. Kevin Kroenke wins the MA60 Mixed Amateur 60 division by 1 stroke over Mark Ungerman. Carletta Darling won the FA50 Women's Amateur 50 division. Peter Cornish by 3 strokes over Kenji Klein. You don't have to move up anymore, Kenji, in the MA50 division. But still, -8, not too shabby. MA40, Mixed Amateur 40, Terry Hudson by 4 strokes over Steve Marshall. Marcia Focht beat Megan Mercier by 1 stroke in the FA1 division. And the MA1 division. Alex, how was your day?
Not good. So I started my day off feeling all right. I had some good players on the card. I was playing with Tyler Gannon in round 1, Dan Perry, and I'm blanking. I think it was Josh Lee as the 4th person. And yeah, I was not playing well. Started off okay, a couple of pars, then took a 6 on hole 13, just kind of bled strokes for the rest of the time. And it wasn't even like I tried to do something good and, missed it by a little bit and it got a bad tree kick or something like that. On hole 1, course hole 1, so I'm like halfway into my round at this point, I threw into the ground on my first shot, and then my second shot was about 10 feet from hole 2's tee pad, which is just completely in the wrong direction. Didn't hit a tree. Didn't do anything there. Just randomly grip locked it way off left and ended up taking a 4 on, one of the relatively easier holes to par on the course. So yeah, I was a little bit tilted after that first round, but I am going to blame that exclusively on the fact that I played hole 13, which is the par 4 on the back 9, as my 3rd hole, and a giant tree came down in the middle of us playing that hole. So that was completely the tree's fault, and I don't take any responsibility for how I played that day.
That's
I think it was your fault. We all had to climb over that goddamn thing all day. Those cart people were pissed.
Yeah, it was not down. So we played hole 11 and hole 12, and we got up to hole 13, and you kind of walk up to hole 13, and there was already a backup there, so we couldn't tee off, and we're all trying to not get eaten alive by the bugs. It's raining, by the way, so like I took my bug spray out of my bag, thinking, oh, it's raining, it's probably not going to be that buggy. There were so many bugs. It was rough on that back 9. Yeah, so super buggy. We're all trying to not get eaten alive. We just start hearing cracking, and this tree, it's probably 50 to 100 feet off the tee pad. When you look up, it's leaning over the fairway. It's like if it was a stable tree, you wouldn't really be worried about it. But, you start hearing these giant cracking noises and you can see it moving. And we're like, is it coming down now? Do we throw and it has a chance to hit our disc as it's coming down, or do we do something else? But yeah, it didn't come down until we were past it. I took the long way around. I think somebody was talking about going directly underneath the path of it. And I tried to, strongly suggest otherwise, because this, we're talking 24-inch diameter at least, something like that. It was a big tree. So yeah, I got past it. I was throwing my second shot, and I got out of the woods, and it started cracking and going down, and it was just the loudest noise. I was talking to people mid-round, and they could hear it, like halfway across the course. So that was exciting. a little bit scary, but everybody was safely away from it by the time it was actually coming down. So that's good. Then round 2, I was able to recover a little bit. Since I did so poorly in round 1, I ended up playing with the MA2 guys. I played with Trevor Klein, Noah Fry, and Brian Monahan. That was a nice card.
You mean one half of Camel Case Corey, Brian Monahan?
Exactly. Played about how I expected to. Still had some stupid mistakes, but yeah, that was the big thing for me. It was a giant tree and shooting absolutely horribly in round 1.
How many times have you played this tournament?
This is my first time playing this tournament. I don't play CPS that often. It's 45 minutes away. That's pretty dang far for me. There were no holes that I hadn't played before, but they were not fresh enough in my mind for me to play them consistently, I guess.
Probably always also used to play them in the fall, right? In the winter?
Yeah, in the winter. There's a lot more leaves in the summer.
All right. Well, the MA1 division, Peter Hodge and Tyler Gannon came in tied for second at -5, but your winner at -8, Adam Shoemaker,
shot a 6 down in round 1 for over 1,000 rated round. That was great.
Heck yeah, 1,004. MP60, Mixed Pro 60, Danny White, and Greg Kurtz tied. Does anybody know if there was a tiebreaker or how that worked?
There was. I don't know how many holes it was, but Danny won it.
Nice. I mean, not for Greg, but nice. MP40, Mixed Pro 40, Timothy Giardini won it by 4 strokes over Chad Larson and Brian Bickersmith.
I heard that Brian had Chad by a stroke. Oh, yeah, I think he had him by a stroke, and Chad threw in some 140-foot shot to tie him for second and take just a little bit of food out of Brian's kids' mouths.
Did Brian follow up on his promise?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So Brian has been talking for months since they were talking about this Schenectady pool that if it's done in time for ElectriCity, he's going in that goddamn pool. So the entire first round, it rained. And I just kept thinking, Brian's not going to go in the pool, right? It's raining out. And he's like, no. On lunch, he was putting his socks back on. He went in that pool. He said it was amazing.
I thought he was going to jump in after winning or something.
That's probably what he wished.
All right, moving over to the MPO division, Mixed Pro Open. Corey, how'd you shoot?
Not great. I mean, I guess in the end, kind of average. But yeah, that round 1, it was rain in the morning, which I was not prepared for. I thought it was going to rain in the afternoon. And I had assumed my umbrella was in my car. And then I get to the course and it wasn't. Luckily, I parked next to Tim Giardini and he had an extra one that he just quickly handed off to me. But my round 1 started pretty mundane until I got to hole 5, which is a tough birdie, but bogey is almost kind of acceptable, but that's as bad as you get. And I literally took a 7. It was my 4th hole, and I took a quad bogey on this goddamn hole. So then from there, I already kind of thought my tournament was over, but somehow I was able to kind of claw back and get some birdies, save some good pars. Hole 10, which is Old Hole 12, aka the Chris Dahl Amazing Ace hole by the Rose Garden. I was somehow able to birdie that hole with a 30-foot straddle putt.
Nice.
Ended up being the only birdie on that hole for the day. So I kind of finished my round 1 at 1 down with kind of bad putting. And I think that put me, tied for 5th on the chase card with a couple other people. And then round 2 came around and the weather got much better, but my game kind of shriveled up and I wasn't getting enough birdies. I got a couple of dumb bogeys. So it was basically the exact same rated round, but 2 down to put me in a tie for 7th place and out of the cash. I was kind of my goal at CPS is usually go 5 down, which is totally doable. So to not even get 5 down for the tournament, let alone 1 round, was a little rough, but it ended up being an average round for me. So overall, I was semi-content.
Shot over your rating both rounds?
Yeah, I think that I averaged 956 or something. 956, 955. I'll take it. It's better than averaging 930 or worse. So, but I ended up playing with Adam Nelson both rounds, so I had a lot of Adam Nelson time. I think first round I played with Kyle Hirsch, and I don't actually remember who the 4th person was. But then round 2 I played with Ethan Hatters and Adam Nelson again and Brad Schott. So card to play with, and Ethan kind of pretty sure he popped off for 7 down or something, kind of sneakily, which was the hot score of the round, but not the hot score of the day. Or no, did Adam go 6 or 8 down in MA1?
6.
6. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Ethan had the hot round.
6 and 2. Yep.
Was the layout the same both rounds?
Yes. Since I kind of mentioned the hole stats, I think the only other 2 holes that only had 1 birdie all day was Kyle Hirsch on hole 5, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, how on earth are you birdieing that hole?
I don't know. How are you taking a 7 on it? I can tell you that part at least.
I can explain the 2. I was there for that one. So he forehanded it long on the drive into like the rough behind the basket.
When you say behind, you mean like the left when you're looking at the basket from like the curt?
Yeah. Like it's kind of hard to describe, but
between the basket and the tennis courts.
Yeah. He was. It's like a bunch of like little locust saplings and Japanese knotweed. If you're Randy, then you'll know what I'm talking about.
I do.
So he threw it long into there. He was probably like 60 or 70 feet away. He forehanded his berg into the basket from like 70 feet away. He's like, well, I'm close enough. I should try to run this.
With OB behind it.
I was going to say, if he misses it, isn't he going OB?
Yeah. Well, he was like, well, what's the worst that could happen? And I told him, I said, well, you could tie Corey, then I'll talk about it on the podcast. Knowing that that's Kyle's worst fear. He just made it. It was an absolutely terrible idea, and it worked.
Ethan got way out there round 2 and had probably like a 80-footer. Not really as much of a death putt. Like he was kind of like in line with the basket down the fairway, and he like hit just high band. That would have been. I can't remember the last time I've seen that hole birdied.
Yeah, that's a super tough one. I did it once, like on accident. I turned a Tersis over too much, and it just rolled.
And then the only other hole that was only birdied by one person was hole 9 next to the playground by none other than Jamin Hume.
Really?
Yeah. Who also allegedly, the entire card actually gets dinged for this, not knowing that was the MPO CTP, and they were the first ones to play it. And the amount of times I had to hear during round 2 that, oh, that's where the CTP is. Oh, I was way closer round 1. Was at least twice. One was third knowledge of Jamin's shot.
Well, then I put my shot kind of similar to where I put it first round. So I did get to put it there, and I did get the CTP, but
so it didn't matter. Just don't lie.
Yep.
That reminded me, I didn't add that as a whole, but we don't have anything else about this tournament to talk about. The spotter at that tournament this weekend where he got hit by the roller.
Ooh.
Oh man.
What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I heard about it, but I don't know any details. So if somebody wants to fill me in,
I'll see if I can find it on Reddit.
It was Garrett Gerthy. He threw a roller that went OB, and then the spotter didn't try hard enough to get away, I guess is what you could say.
He tried to jump over it, right? Or lift his leg out.
He like double clutched, and it didn't work.
It's basically the meat and potatoes of it. Could he have gotten away? Yeah. Could he have also not just as easily? Yeah. While also trying to do a spotting job of looking where it goes OB and stuff?
No way. This thing was coming right at him. It looks like he was trying to jump over it to make it look cool, and it just jumped in the air. And it just hit the guy like square in the chest.
That's about the only thing I take from it as being a negative. The fact that he's spotting, you're going to give him a lot of leeway, if you ask me. Like you said, Jamie, he did try to like make it look kind of cool. That would be the only knock, I guess, against him. But otherwise, like you said, it was going right at him. There wasn't a lot of time to make a detailed plan about what to do. But your first instinct, move to the side, but I don't know.
Okay, yeah. He definitely... I don't know. He definitely, I feel like he got overconfident with his ability of missing the disc. Although at the same time, I saw Garrett Gerthy comment on maybe a Scott Stokely post, and he was basically defending the spotter. So, I mean, that could just be good PR, but...
I mean, at the end of the day, he was spotting, so you're not, you can't bust his chops too much.
Did it matter? I have not watched that tournament in a while, at least like most coverage, just other than the clips, but like, was this like a big decision maker? Did it ruin his round or...
I mean, he didn't lose the tournament by 1 or 2 strokes, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it was the difference between the tournament, but it was the difference between 1 stroke and with the speed at which that disc hit that guy, probably another 100 feet on that drive.
Yeah.
I'm watching it over and over in slow-mo, and it kind of seems like the spotter is not looking in the right direction until it's like 15 feet away. Like, I don't know what he was looking at, but maybe he actually only had 2 seconds to like react. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy. And I was doing it as well, saying, no, this guy tried to jump over it. It's very easy to look at it now. And like having watched it on replay like 5 times, you're like, well, this is what I think happened.
It is 6 feet in front of him when it goes from rolling on the ground to chest height.
Yeah.
If he thought it was going to keep rolling, then he had so much, like he could have gotten out of the way, but it just jumps at his face like at the last second.
This is why you have to replace your divots. Look how big they get. It's just knocking it out of this hole in the ground.
Yeah. The lesson from this is if a disc is rolling towards you, move laterally.
Yeah.
Like that's, I don't know, move more out of bounds, I guess, is always the answer. I feel like is the more out of bounds you get, the better.
If he stepped to the left and the disc skipped to the left and it hit him, would anybody have beef with the guy, do you think?
Like it was headed more out of bounds?
Take out of bounds out of the equation for just a minute, just for the sake of this argument. If it's rolling, just affecting the roll, if he did make an effort to move to the side, but the disc just skipped and hit something and moved to that side, would he be getting the same flack, do you think?
No.
Yeah,
I don't think he would. There's so many different versions of this where he would get absolutely no flack, but this one just, if you didn't watch it in slow-mo, it looks like he just stood in its way. I don't know. It's rough.
How certain are we that it was going to, if not go, like Jameis said, another 100 feet, do you think it would have gone back in bounds?
It looked a lot like it was curling in.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? It could have hit that rope and then spun out and then stayed out of bounds.
Yeah, it's one of the, and I'm not blaming the guy for throwing a roller, but I'm always like, I see people on hole 18 at FDR throwing rollers a lot. And I just think, man, how many people walk their dogs here? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen like this rolling with a rooster tail coming off the back of it?
What is that? Is that like poo flying all over it?
Yeah, well, yeah, in your scenario.
Oh, but anything, you're talking about just hitting anything and...
Oh, yeah, like if, like, say you're driving your car in the snow and you're spinning the tires and it's shooting the snow, you might call that like a rooster tail. I guess it does kind of look like a rooster tail with like the layered feathers, yeah. You have to have a good imagination to picture that one, I guess. Either you get it or you don't.
All right. So what's the consensus? What does everybody think on that?
You shouldn't have rolled at OB to begin with. Boom.
All right. So we were talking about the Discat Presents, the 2024 ElectriCity Classic. MPO Division Mixed Pro Open. We had a tie for second place at -9 between 2023 Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Co-Player of the Year Tucker Kozlowski and 2023 Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Co-Player of the Year Kyle Hirsch. But
smart, because I'm going to beat Kyle Hirsch by at least one.
How was your round, Jamin?
Both my rounds were pretty solid. I had a couple little hiccups in there, but nothing that I can complain too much about. I realized that I need to find a new overstable fairway driver because the Omen that I've been bagging is just like not the disc I need it to be. So if anybody has suggestions, I'm looking. Right now I'm actually looking at a Tesla because when they're new, they're so overstable. But that's like the one hole that gave me trouble both rounds was hole 8. I went out of bounds both times on them. And I just like have a hole in my bag for that. I gave that disc to Muccelli after the round because he threw it on that hole and it worked out really well for him. So forcing myself to get something different. But besides that one hole, everything else went really good. I think I only had one other bogey on the day outside of hole 8. And that was hole 16, which was just like a really poorly timed jump putt that I threw into a tree 12 feet in front of me. Instead of making a very easy par, I bogeyed it. But my putting was really good first round. I played that round with Justin Muccelli, Adam Shoemaker, and Ethan Hatters. It was a lot of fun. Very relaxed card. Ethan's an absolute blast to play with. I was not surprised to see that I was tied with Tucker after the first round. Tucker's been on an absolute heater lately, and he's been playing really, really well. And then to round out that second card was the Kyles, Kyle Denman and Kyle Hirsch. So the second round was also a lot of fun. We were kind of remarking how it didn't really feel like a lead card. We were just kind of messing around, having fun. Towards the end, a lot of scoring separation, a lot of changes on the last like 5 or 6 holes. Ended up with the 3 of us tied at, I guess, 9 under.
Yeah.
For the tournament going into hole 18. And hole 18 is a pretty cut and dry, just straight and left. Kind of mid-range, slow fairway shot, depending. Some people throw putters on that. And I think Kyle went first and he sawed it off just a little bit early, but probably 25, 30 feet away from the basket with a tree kind of in his way. He had to straddle out. Tucker threw his a little too straight and dropped down at probably 40 feet away, which gave him a chance. And with Tucker's putting, that's a real chance for him. I went last out of, I think, everybody. And I was able to get my shot just kind of into the window, and it kicked one of the trees on the right-hand side and just put it a little bit closer to the basket. So I was probably 15 feet away. And then Tucker went, he missed his putt low. He had a really tough straddle out that just he couldn't get in the air enough. Kyle had to straddle out, and he missed his a little bit short also. So I had a fairly stress-free tap in for birdie that was still very nerve-wracking. So I was able to take it down, which was super nice. I haven't won anything else this year, so it felt good to actually play a couple solid rounds of disc golf.
I was tracking your card towards the end because I knew, I wasn't in contention. I only had a couple holes left. It wasn't really going to matter. So I was paying attention to the MPO live scores. And I think I checked in on hole 16, it must have been. And it was 9 down for you, 9 down for Tucker, and 7 down for Kyle.
Yeah.
It's all right, we're going to see something pretty tight. And then I checked in again, and suddenly you guys were on 18 at everybody 9 down. And I'm like, what the hell did Kyle do?
Yeah, Kyle kind of came together towards the end. I think he birdied 15, 16, and 17 to get back into contention.
Those are not easy birdies.
No.
17 is a little bit, but 16 not so much.
Yeah, hole 16 and hole 8, those were the two where I was like, man, I just need an overstable fairway driver that works. That was kind of one of my big lessons for the day. But yeah, I mean, we all had spots where we could have made our lives easier. We could have made that path to winning a lot simpler. Mine was definitely hole 15. Tucker's was hole 16. He missed a 20, 25 footer for birdie on that one. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a good reminder that every single stroke counts when you're out there competing. And I don't know, I'm looking forward to more tournaments. It's starting to look like I'm going to have a busy fall, which is exciting.
Speaking of, I don't know if it's a planned hole, but I was looking at Jason's Stonewall Classic, getting excited for that one too.
Yeah, I just posted it. So
Probably while you were talking, Alex.
I'm also eating dinner, so I'm just trying to buy it.
Man, it's like a multitasker over here.
For what it's worth, Jamin, I threw a Tesla on 8 and 16 and had birdie putts on both of them.
Nice. I've got 4 of them downstairs. I don't know why I haven't really tried them. Just looking at the numbers, they don't seem like that Firebird kind of disc, but I don't have any Firebirds and I don't want to go get more. So I'm looking at other options, and that seems like a good option. I'm looking at a Glow Lift that you and Randy gave me the exact same disc.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so the thing with the Glow Lifts is the first run was so wildly overstable. Something happened with the cooling process, and the parting line height is so much higher than anything else.
Okay.
Or, any of the other lifts. So if you get a brand new Eclipse lift right now, it will probably be much closer to the numbers than it actually is.
Okay, well, that takes that one out of the running. That's good to know. All right, I'll dig a Tesla out. That's a recommendation from Adam Nelson.
Yeah, I have one of the Simon Lizotte Hummingbird ones, the new Proton Tour series, whatever they are.
Forgot about those.
I've liked it a lot.
After round 1, we finished on hole 1, and they had Tournament Central kind of in the middle of the park by hole 8, so it was a little bit of a walk. So walking back to where everyone was hanging out and walking back to my car, and I see that there's this white container in my car, and I'm like, who the hell is using my car as a table for their freaking takeout lunch? So I didn't really pay much attention to it, and I think I walked over. I grabbed my half-eaten Stewart sandwich that was sitting in my car for a couple hours for lunch, and Jamin comes walking over, and he's like, since you made, I forgot what you said, Jamin, but I'm going to make up some words. Since you made such a big deal about it last year, I got you a piece of tomato pie from the bakery. So, Jamin got me tomato pie at the bakery, and I ate it. Which I will have to say, it was pretty good. Was that Pareca's, Jamin?
No, that was Homestyle.
The hell is that, a gas station?
No, it's a pizza place. Homestyle Pizza. It's across the road from Stewart's. It's right on Union. I go there every single time I play something at CPS. It's a good pizza place. They're the ones that used to do the lunch, when it was the Play It Again Open.
I assumed it was Pareca's because I've heard of them and their tomato pie, and they're only right down over there by Union as well. But no, it was good. It wasn't that much different than the stuff that I get from Utica. Maybe a little bit sweeter sauce, but no, it was good. Except I ate it with my right hand, and then before a round started, I had to rub my hand in the dirt and sand to get the grease off.
There are not many places where I don't trust the dirt, but CPS is one of them.
That was one thing that kind of bugged me a little bit I'm not sure if there's anything you can do about it, but especially the new hole
7.
The T-pads got very sandy, and that'll affect your traction just a little bit.
Kyle had made a comment on like my forehand. Your form looks so weird on that shot. I was like, yeah, because I'm throwing it standing straight up while trying to juice his forehand while not slipping on the sandy T-pad.
Yeah.
But that's just like that's kind of how that T-pad is.
Yeah, it sort of comes with the location, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, and just as a general setup, if the tag sign-in sheet has 2 columns, double check that you're signing up for the right column when you're putting in your tag, because that will delay things significantly if you sign up for the blues when you're actually playing the whites.
When I got there at first, I'm like, why the hell is there 2 columns of people? And then I like looked at the top of the page. I'm like, oh, that's why. Blues and whites. Forgot about that.
So, Jamin, very important question. Did you get to keep the big check?
I did not.
Oh.
It did make me hold it up above my head, though.
And you're now the disc cap cover page.
Yep. That's all I ever wanted in life.
You should set higher standards for yourself, Jamin. I think you can really achieve them now.
Are you trying to tell me I should do more, Corey?
Yeah, you don't do enough.
Is that the first time you've won that particular tournament, Jamie?
No, actually, I totally forgot. I looked through because that tournament has happened under a couple different names. When I started, it was the Play It Again Open. And I don't know how I forgot this, but that was the first cash I ever accepted was when I won that tournament a million years ago. I think it was 2018.
Nice.
Thank you.
I won in a playoff against Ryan Rhodes, and I remember absolutely none of it.
Does he still play?
I think so. Ryan, last I knew, is living down in North Carolina, and he's getting doxxed by a podcast in upstate New York.
He was not the dude that drove around like that small car he had all kitted out, right?
Yeah, that's Ryan.
I forgot what it was. It was like a Scion XB or something like that, or like
thing. With his little kitchen in his bunk.
Yeah, he had it kitted out as like a tiny house.
Yeah, if I remember, that's what he does now.
Build some.
Yeah.
Because he came to Mindkill with it at least once, and I remember talking to him about it.
Yep, great dude.
All right, well, congratulations, Kenji and Jeff, on a successful ElectriCity Classic. And Jamin, as a reward for winning, you get to pick the next hole. We got 2, 4, 5, and 9.
I'll go with 2.
All right. Well, Randy, what did you do this weekend?
I did a lot. I took Friday off to travel to Massachusetts, played the Cosmic, I'm going to mess up the name, but it's Cosmic Disc Golf is kind of the organization who runs it at Maple Hill. They do like a Friday flex start. So I played that and it was on the Reds. I parked the first 2 holes. So I was thinking like it's going to be a good day on the Reds, but the first 2 holes at Maple Reds are pretty wide open. And then I proceeded to like hit a bunch of trees. But then on hole 9, it's this little up and over hill shot and you can't even see the flag of the basket. And that flag probably puts it up to somewhere like 8 feet. So it's a pretty steep incline with then like no vantage. So anyways, I throw my shot and I already turn away to walk because I see it's like doing well, but headed not at the basket, I thought. And somebody also hits a tree next to us at the same time. And I just hear like the faintest chain noise. And I'm like, did anybody hear chains? And everyone was kind of like, oh, maybe. But, it's a tournament at Maple on the Reds. So there's people hitting chains, all around you. So everybody throws and then we walk up and my disc was just sitting in the basket, which was pretty rad. I still don't know if it kicked off the tree that's like 3 feet away from the basket or not, but there's really no way to know.
Were you in the ace pot?
There was no ace pot.
Ooh, rip.
Yeah.
Man, that could have been a good one.
Pretty sad. It could have. Yeah, there was a lot of people in it.
Do you feel like since you weren't paid for it, that it invalidates the shot even more than taking a lucky tree kick into the basket?
I don't know. It was maybe the shortest hole in the course. So I'm not like bragging because of like a skill thing, although it felt pretty good to, just pipe a putter up a straight line up into the air and have it work out. But I mean, it was my first time putting a 1 on a PDGA scorecard. So pretty cool.
Your card mates didn't give you at least $1?
No. So if Kat gave me $1, she's basically just giving me my $1. And then I was playing with like a father and son, like a pretty young kid. I think he was 10 or 11. So
you could have taught him a lesson like really early. Like,
yeah, I might have made it out of there with $1 basically. So not worth it, I guess.
I learned what my biggest disc golf faux pas is now, and that's not getting paid for aces. I don't know if that fits the definition of faux pas, but
Oh, you mean from the rest of the card?
the survey, yeah.
Does anybody else think that should be the case? Does it matter if there is an ace pot? If I've already paid in the ace pot, I got to pay you again? Is that what you're telling me, Corey? Or you're saying if there's no ace pot?
No, right. Well,
I always thought that was a casual round thing because this was like a tournament where those people did not choose to play with me. So like not their fault that
it wasn't a flex start.
It was a flex start, but
so didn't they literally choose
to play
with
strangers? That's not how it's. They picked the spot. You know, they picked the time to play.
But that's like literally choosing to play, unless you chose to play with them. Actually,
we did technically. Yeah, we chose to play with them because we were looking for a spot with 2 openings in it. So yeah,
in that case, no, I think you could spare him the $1.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I know at like the MVP Open Am side, Steve Dodge would never have ace pots just because he thought they took away from like competitive integrity. Because if you're going for ace runs, you're not playing the quote unquote best shot for the hole. So I wonder if that's why there wasn't one for that. If that just kind of extended and, held on to the course as opposed to the person.
Also kind of seems like a hot take. I know people say that if you're ace running it, you might be being too reckless. But literally, if you could ace run everything, is that not the best line? If you're trying to get the best score on the hole, like isn't a 1 better than a 2?
I mean, if you have a generous 5% chance of acing and like a 50% chance of birdieing by taking 2 different routes, then I think that the birdie look is going to have better expected value.
Like, what if all your ace runs, you're good at just leaving them like inside 40 and you're like automatic inside 40?
Then I feel like you are probably not worried about how much cash you're getting from ace spots because you're going to make a lot of money on the pro tour.
Yeah. If there's a wall behind the basket or, some barrier behind the basket, I could see it. If it's downhill, potential roll away, probably not wise.
I don't know. It was Maple Reds, and like there were other holes that I genuinely was trying to ace near the end because I was like kind of in contention. So on hole 16, it's uphill. I was absolutely trying to ace it, and I only came up like 2 feet short. So I don't know.
Exactly, right? If the comment is about taking away the integrity of the game, not quoting, just saying, and you're down by 3 with 3 holes to go and they're gettable, like the guys in a birdie mall, would you not be trying to ace them because that's the best shot on the hole? How else are you going to make up that many strokes? Just hope that he misses the easy birdies?
Yeah, but I think then the reward is doing well in the tournament because you aced it and it got you a little bit closer like you needed.
You're talking about the last 3 of a round where my feeling is it's hole specific, or I guess situation specific. Whereas you were saying every hole trying to ace. And I think you can find a slew of holes out there that it wouldn't be wise to just do an ace run. Because more often than not, you can end up getting extra strokes, basically.
But still non-zero, getting all the aces.
All right. Anything else? Didn't you play a tournament, Randy?
Yeah, no, I had a super busy weekend. This was like the first time I played 4 days in a row in a long time. Yeah, no, Saturday played the Cape Cod Open, which is a tournament I've played since 2019, I think. It was also Kat's first tournament. It's just one of those, I guess, like legacy tournaments for us. We just try to play it every single year. We grew up not too far from that course, even though we didn't really play it until, we were fully into disc golf, living in New York. But yeah, it was a kid-free weekend, which was crazy. We, showed up to the course after sleeping all night and like had breakfast, and we got there early enough to warm up and playing like 7 or 8 holes, which I think on a normal tournament, we show up at check-in and we like hit some putts and throw like 1 hole maybe. So that was a very different thing. I was like much more warmed up in terms of throws. And then the tournament was like really fun. I saw people I haven't seen in a year. It's a pretty tight-knit group there, a lot of locals, but it's really fun. And I ran into people that remembered me, and it was great to strike up conversations and see how people had been doing for a year. As for the course, if you haven't played Burgess, it is a all par 3 wooded course. So it is pretty easy to get pars. The birdies can be challenging. So it's not exactly a birdie or die course. I averaged my rating by shooting 2 down the first round and then 1 down the second round. So you don't have to get birdies constantly. It's really just about not getting bogeys. But I was really happy with the weekend, putting well. I hit some trees, did not get many birdies due to tee shots, but hitting a lot of my inside the circle putts, I walked away really happy. And then Kat, for the third year in a row, took second place to Kat Maloney, who is a course local, very good player. So my Kat was very happy taking second place. And she kind of had her first really confident 2 rounds in a row of the year, feeling good about her game. So pretty successful tournament.
Heck yeah. What'd you do this weekend, Jason?
I went roller skating and played laser tag and crushed a bunch of 7-year-olds at it.
When you say roller skating, you talking about 4 wheels, like 2 and 2, or like inline skating?
I started with inline, and I don't have a set of my own, so I rented them. The first pair they gave me was just really uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, maybe it's too big, so I went down a size. That one had like a flat spot in the wheel, and then so I got a third one, and that one was like extremely uncomfortable. Like there's something, like I think they're just overworn or something. So then I switched to roller skates, and I had never been roller skating. I've always just done rollerblading, and it's very similar, but it was fun. Kind of sore from it now, but Heidi wanted to do that for her birthday party, so we went there with a couple of her friends and she had a good time. And other than that, I helped my parents. They're still rebuilding their house from a fire a couple of years ago, so just doing carpentry and stuff down there. Oh, and then Sunday I did a bunch of work at the Greenville course. I'm working on some new holes that are part of a new layout that we're going to use in October for the seats here. Really excited about some of the holes. They're just like very long, challenging, but also gettable for like players my skill level, and just have a good variety. And also had another birthday party on Sunday, but that pretty much sums up my weekend.
What's the last round of disc golf you played? Was it Thursday at Tubbs?
Yeah, which Randy and I tied playing Cali.
Yeah, well, that'll be in last week in disc golf. I might edit that out for right now.
Yeah, that's a spoiler.
Unless that sounds more exciting than when we actually talk about it, then I'll just do a little switcheroo there.
Yeah, I'd have to think of something more exciting. Some other way to present it.
Nice. So, well, Alex, what we got? 459.
459, huh? Let's go number 9.
All right. What would you like to talk about?
Oh, well, so this week, instead of doing my normal weekly disc golf stuff, I went down to Philly. The Arsenal was in the States for their preseason tour.
Are they the Arsenal or just Arsenal?
I've heard it both ways. I don't know if there's like an official correct like way to do it.
Yeah, not like Ukraine. Well, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Just curious.
So it was Arsenal versus Liverpool at the Eagles Stadium in Philly. So I went down with a buddy of mine who's also an Arsenal fan. We got to go see the game. And then the next morning, he was like, I'm taking a train into New York City because he's got stuff to do in New York City. But it doesn't leave until like 11. So I'm like, well, let's go play some disc golf because I had my disc golf stuff with me. I was already sort of planning on going to a course or two on my way back up north. So he and I played Chedgley Woods right in the middle of Philly there. Nice little course. We played the short tees because he's a new player. He hadn't played before. He was doing well. Got a par or two. Super short course. Really cool to see in the middle of Philly because it was very wooded, doing a lot with the little space they have, I guess. But yeah, it was a cool little course. Then dropped him off at the train station, then went back up a little bit east, I guess, into New Jersey to play Stafford Woods. Played the longs there, joined up with some people to search for some discs and played the rest of the round with them. Had some fun with that. I really liked the terraced green that they had going on one of the par 4s, like hole 5 or 6 or something like that. So that was really cool. Yeah, I kept seeing things about them potentially getting rid of that course. So I think there's like a petition you can sign or something like that. So if you care about Stafford Woods, then make sure you're doing something there to make sure they don't get rid of the course.
I believe what I read last was they're looking at ways to alter it so that they can keep it. So it sounds like they're working with the state or whatever agency is kind of jamming the whole process. So good things, not the best things, but having that course around in any form is better than not having it.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed it. But other than that, I think that's it for the stuff that I wanted to talk about.
All right, Randy, what do you got? Anything?
Didn't I already talk about my weekend?
Hey, I didn't know if there was anything else you wanted to talk about.
Nothing groundbreaking. I think we'll go over Thursday night dubs at some point.
Okay. Corey, what do you got? Anything?
Nope, none of these listeners showed up to my party on Saturday. After ElectriCity, had my little bonfire thing. Played some Can Jam, made some 2-stroke powered blended margaritas, burned some furniture, lit the bonfire with a flare gun from Walmart you'd buy for like maybe if your boat was sinking out in the middle of the lake. So that was cool. And that's it.
All right, Jason, you got anything else? Did you mention the dates and such on that tournament?
I don't think I did. So I just posted an announcement so everybody, I guess, see it by the time this airs, but I'm running a C-tier Greenville October 13th. I scheduled on the Sunday. I'm assuming we have team challenge at Saturday. It's also Columbus Day weekend. But yeah, it's going to be the 9-hole loop that's at Greenville now, plus a new 9-hole loop that's available in the fall and winter. I'm going to be doing a bunch of work days. So actually, when this airs this upcoming weekend, I'll be working on the course. If anybody wants to check out the property or check out the new holes or even the existing holes, come out. Love it. Getting some help, just cutting some different things, breaking in some greens, moving some baskets. I got to move a bunch of temp baskets to the new holes, and then testing them out, which is always fun. I just want to also give a shout out. Pete Lundstedt is running an event at Creek Peak. It's a little bit farther away outside of Discap area, but it's a Forever Young tournament. It's a doubles fundraiser. From what he's told me, the course is good. It has like a kind of a resort there with the ski slope and stuff. They're trying to get the course finished. He hasn't got a lot of people signed up, so hopefully some people make the trip out there. He changed the format so that it's one round starting kind of later in the day to help make it easier for people to get out there. But it's fair to give him a shout out. I don't know if anybody knows about it.
Nice. Jamie, you got anything?
Nope. The premieres this weekend, I think we're up to like 43, 44 people, which is pretty good. I'm excited to have a kind of small, manageable tournament with a bunch of fun people. So getting ready for that, putting in a ton of T-pads this week, waiting on a load of stone right now, but by the time this goes out, all the T-pads will be long done for both CTK and Moreau, so that's nice.
All right, Randy, 4 or 5?
5.
All right, last week in disc golf for July 29th to August 4th. Monday, Colonial Acres doubles had 13 players, had a tie for third at -7 between Sean Dollard and Tim Nimmer. They tied Matthew Bauer and Mark Bryan, who their team actually had an ace. Second place, Dan Perry and Christopher Evanchuk shot -10, and Willie Harrison is your winner at -11. Gunks Monday doubles, they had 17 players, tied for second at -6. Josh Hedden and Jacob Driscoll tied Stephen Rush and Andy Lewis. Phil Frigali and Jackson Quinn won it at -9. Prospect Park doubles, 31 players, tied for third. Greg Kurtz and Kevin Nguyen at -10. They tied Stephen Agin and Jay Gorsage. Your winners were also tied. Kyle Moore and Joe Jaskolka shot -11. So did Matt Cully and Ryan Yadow. Saratoga Spa Random Dubs had 25 players. Third place is at Jammin Totino, and Tim DeFranco shot -15. Danny White and Bryce North shot -16. And your winner, 2023 Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Co-Player of the Year, Tucker Kozlowski, had a -17. Field of Dreams doubles had 14. Justin Choka and Sean shot a -8. So did Ed Slaminski and Ari Eisner. But your winners had -12. Chris Hudowalski and Anthony Diotto. Tuesday, J-Dubs Points Championship, Week 20. How'd that go, Corey?
We had 11 people show up to play J North. Myself and Chad Larson got paired up, so that was kind of a strong team. But Justin Muccelli, Tim Goyette, they took second. Myself and Chad took first. Danny Parton got the CTP on hole 21, which is Whale Tail. And the birdie bank was pretty tough, so no one hit that. So next week is week 21, and we'll be playing J West 19. Yeah, no, that's it. Nothing else really to talk about. It was very uneventful with no trees coming down and no crazy storms.
What about CTK singles, Jamin?
CTK singles, we had 6 people come out. It was another very hot day. I feel like every day is a very hot day, so that's just how it goes this summer, I guess. I don't remember who took second and third, but I remember Jim Robertson took first, beating his handicap by 5, which is awesome. Jim is just like every week player. He plays the course all the time. He also donated 4 super sturdy benches that I'm going to be putting out there in the next few days. So that's awesome. Congratulations, Jim, for winning, and thank you for donating benches.
I got Bobby Hallam shot a -2.
Yep. I believe he took second. Jim's handicap is 15 and Bobby's handicap is 2. This -2 just pushed it down to 1. So he would have shot -4. Jim shot -5. And I want to say John Hotmer came in third, shooting -2.
All right. Kisco Tuesday Dubs, they had 16, and they played alternate shot doubles. Third place, Eric Stevenson and Simon Ramon shot a -1, and there was a tie for first at -5 between Philip Dragalis and Mitchell Pipes, tied with Chris Schofield and Kyle Lumsden. Wilcox South Hatchet Tuesday Dubs had 15. Third place, John Horkey and John Tamburino shot a -11. Scott Mosier and Nick Warren shot a -14 to tie with Matt Roush and Max Horowitz at -14 for the win. Skyland Doubles, Peter Newland and Greg shot a -5 to win that. Discap Women's League at J Park had a three-way tie for first. Alexis White, Megan Mercier, and Jessica Lasasso. Wednesday, Stonykill Random Dubs had 22 players. Were you one of them, Alex?
I was not. I was in Philly.
Likely story. All right, well, there we had a tie for third with Eric Fitz and Andrew Durrell at -9. They tied with Joe Galinas and Tyler Lagerwall. And there was also a tie for first at -10. Travis Bashore and Joe Jaskolka tied Stephen W. Malin Jr. III and Luke Kotleski at -10.
Looking like Steve and Luke won a 6-hole playoff.
I'm glad you knew that. Thank you.
Yeah, I pulled up Gene's quick recap.
Well, let me just address that, because I actually got a message from Kevin Kroenke about that. He said that there's some kind of Discap Dubs League page that has results and such.
There's a Stonykill Disc Golf Leagues page that Gene, posts the recaps to. I don't know if there's a Discap page.
Well, he was just saying that they talk about the tiebreakers and such, which I think that's good to know, like when we know them. But I go to UDisc first because I don't have to wait for the results. People don't always post that stuff right away.
And it's a one-stop for everything. I mean, if there's a Stonykill Doubles League and a Colonial Acres League page and a Prospect League page, that's very difficult to go and track down each and every one of them.
Also, if I'm trying to do the Player of the Week thing, if I see Jeremy Forehand, Florida Man Millian, that might be a mouthful, but I know that's the same name that's going to be on every event. If somebody posts something on Facebook, they might put Pat K, and then the next person might be P. Keenan or link my name or any number of things, and it makes it harder to figure out who's who. With UDisc, I know even if it's Pat K, it's going to be Pat K at every event. So it makes it easier. The tie thing, it's a bit of a pain, but also everybody who came in first gets 3 points. And I think tiebreakers are more for the money anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's something I'll consider and look into more, but it's just so much easier. Like, I wish that Wedge and Long Island would get into the UDisc thing, because between some of the nicknames and such, it's just hard to tell who's who. And UDisc is just a one-stop shop, and it's so easy. It's done. You don't even have to do anything. If you want to post something else and add to it, that's great. But at least with UDisc, it's like all the information. But that was just my little side note. Shen Creek Dubs Week 18 had 3 teams tied for third place. Second place, Michael Fair and Ryan Lorenz shot a -6. And your winners at -10, Ethan Haters and Anthony Stamboli. Deadbeat doubles, Eric Stevenson and Zachary Adam won at -8. They played yellows. Zach won the CTP. Andrew Gulak's signature shrike, but nobody hit the birdie bank. See, Zachary Adam too. Isn't that Zach McDonald?
Yeah.
See, so if that's just a pain in the ass, because he's Zachary Adam on Facebook, but on UDisc he's Zach McDonald or whatever. I'm sure he's on here again somewhere if I get to it, but it just, there's uniformity to it, and it's easier for me. Paint Bureau Pro League. Anybody here play?
No, that was CTK and forecasted bad weather. I did not go up there.
All right. Well, Justin Park came in third, shot a 67. Jeremy Whitaker came in second at 66, and Justin Muccelli, 62. Thursday, Disc Beat Club Year 2. Tyler Gannon came in third, the Cannon. Second place, Brian Ellsworth, and your winner, Dan Perry. Overall standings, we have a tie for fifth at 21.5 points, Brian Ellsworth and John Krajewski. Fourth place at 24 points, Mark Stryker. Dan Perry in third at 25. Todd Everlith in second at 29. And Greg Kurtz, your leader, at 30 points. CPS Thursday Dubs had 22 players. A three-way tie for first between the Cannon, Tyler Gannon, and James Black, shot -9. So did Peter Hodge and Dan Gibbons. And Bobby Hallam and Jeremy Forehand, Florida Man Millian. Long Island Disc Golf Thursday Dubs. Third place, Paul Joseph and Dan C. shot a -9. Jonathan Yacht and Michael R. at -10. And Sean Ziegel and Brian Bowe won it at -14. And we have Greenville Casual Dubs League Week 2. How'd that go, Jason?
Great. Randy and I played Kelly and Tide. So I got nothing else.
No, that's cool.
You have nothing else?
All right. I'll let Randy do it. Yeah.
All right. So I had never played there before. I don't know what week. Was this just the second week of it?
Yeah.
All right. So we get there and we told them we were bringing our kids. And we get there and I think there was 7 adults and 6 children.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
That's
yeah.
right.
So we're almost outnumbered. The pavilion and like the parking lot is, I don't know, over a quarter mile from the actual, like from hole 1. And so we divvy up into partners. Me and Jason were kind of advanced. Kat and Jess, we're kind of equally matched. And then there was some newer players there. So we split up, kind of make it fair. So I was playing Callie. Jason had a partner, Emily, and then the ladies paired off with the other dads there. And then we split up and we divvied up the kids. And me and Jason and Emily took the bulk of the children, all but the 2 younger boys. So we had all of these like 5 and 6, 7-year-olds with us. Like, what was it? I think, 4 kids. And they were all like, managing each other. We played kind of fast for the front 9, just kind of hustling them along. It was pretty good. And then we get back around through our first lap because it's a 9-hole layout. So we finish our first lap through and Dylan has to go potty. And I'm like, well, this is a casual league, doesn't matter, but we're about to do like at least a 20-minute trip walking a quarter mile back and forth. So I just expect I'm like just going to play alone when I get back and catch up, whatever's going to happen. So we're gone. I get back probably 20 minutes later and everyone is right where I left them. And there are 2 kids like with minor bleeding injuries from playing on a giant like down tree and like getting whacked with sticks because all the kids were just like going crazy. So like 2 parents, I think, left with their kids because one of them was bleeding. Genevieve was like bleeding pretty good, but she's a trooper and we just kept playing. But basically it was like I never left except people were injured. And I think I missed 1 hole. That was it. So everyone got their stuff back together and then we started playing again. And that's so Jason played the front 9 with a partner and then he played Callie against me on the back 9. And we went on some really good birdie streaks. That course I think is really fun if you're in the mindset of like must get par, if you like, calling par 3s, but if you're thinking of like must get par 2s because you're practicing for like up shots at a challenging course, it is a great course for throwing like putters and mids and trying to like park these holes. But yeah, we got through the back 9 again, playing Cali against each other. And I think we both shot 12 down and I played 1 hole twice at the same time, basically with different discs. But yeah, it was a good time.
And now 12 is the 18-hole course record for the 9-hole loop twice, Jason?
Yeah, we said it. It's Cali, so I guess there's kind of an asterisk, but yeah, that's like the score to beat now.
Do you think it can get to 18?
In doubles? Yeah, I think so. I think if especially if there were like 2 stronger players, like Randy said, it's mostly like putters and mids. So if somebody's putting game's on, it's not that hard to get birdie.
I went in there and I don't throw a ton of forehands. I try to get away from them, but like they are a part of my game. That night, for whatever reason, I saw a lot of like forehand, like 4-speed, like overstable 4-speed, so your zone or whatever you throw for that slot. And I threw a lot of those, which I don't normally. And that was really good practice for Saturday at Burgess Park. So I was really happy that I got some reps in for power forehands. So if that's part of your game, it's definitely a great course. But you can throw a lot of the holes, backhand putter as well.
It was good I had a partner though, because like there's some holes where you can get into trouble if you don't get off the tee right. Like there's one where you have to get over the stone wall or it's OB, and I didn't, but my partner Emily did, and that was great. So that saved us from getting a bogey. And Genevieve's okay. Her she had a pretty big laceration on her shoulder that Heidi tells me was an accident, but yeah, there's sticks involved and definitely some bleeding. And yeah, she was a trooper. I told her she could have multiple ice pops.
Three ice pops.
Yeah, I negotiated that back down to 2 by the time we got home. But yeah, she was a trooper and got through it. And like Granny said, it's a long walk. It's probably like almost half a mile to get to the course from the pavilion. So for kids, that's like twice as many steps. Heidi has this watch that tells her how many steps she has, and she competes with me, and she absolutely crushes me because her legs are so short that like she gets 20,000 steps for my 10,000. So, but yeah, it was good. I'm going to try to keep it going. It's good seeing the Bemis is there. And the vibe has been kind of like, kid friendly if they're cool with walking really long distances. And it was really muggy on Thursday. Like that was one of the most humid days I think I've played at Greenville. So like we're just going through water like crazy.
That was your first time, Randy, you said?
Yeah, that was my first time there at all. I definitely used my Cali strokes on that first 9 through because they're not, the easiest holes ever. You got to actually shape your shots. So yeah, used them hitting trees and stuff.
Did you have any bogeys?
I don't think so.
So me and you have something in common. We've never bogeyed there. Jason can't say the same.
I've definitely bogeyed there. Yeah.
Other than the course, though, what are your thoughts on the area and everything else, Randy?
No, I wish I lived a little closer. I feel like that part of the capital region is developing a lot now. If you live in that direction, you've got Jay Park, and now you'll have Greenville and Minekill. There's a lot of courses within a 30-minute radius if you were to live in the Greenville area. So pretty cool. I think the town, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the town is supportive of the course. They're developing, soccer fields and stuff for kids in that same area. So there's going to be a lot of amenities. It has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I walked the new holes with the president of the not-for-profit today for the park, and he's just like totally on board with everything and really supportive and just like really excited for it. So it's great.
All right. Then moving on to Friday. Skylands Friday handicap at Oasis had a tie for second at -1 between Billy Hove and Brian Heller. These are raw scores, not handicap scores. And first place at -8, Michael Baglioni. SPW Doubles League, I got a message from Kevin Cronky. They had no SPW dubs last Friday. Everybody but 5 punked out. So they played singles, and Adam Nelson took all of their money. Cranmore Dubs League, third place, -11, Peter Hodge and Jace Carter. Court Furman and Mark Meinrinkin came in second at -12, and Charles Carpenter Jr. the third, and Miranda Carpenter shot a 13 to win it. Saturday, Heckscher had their endurance tag round, which was 3 rounds. Josh Winkler came in second at -5, and Filth Raskinator won it at -24. That's impressive. 3 rounds at Heckscher. I don't know what the layouts were, but if it's an endurance round, I imagine they weren't the shorts. But either way, 3 rounds to shoot a -24, not too shabby. And then on Sunday, Long Island Sunday Dubs. Third place, Cali at +1 was Andrew Weber. And we had a tie for first. Kevin Hutchins and Tom Budrowitz shot a -3. So did Stephanie Tashner and Josh Winkler. New York City Sunday League at Highland Park had 13 players. Dalton Bryant came in third at -9. And there was a tie for first at -10 between Eugene Mim and David Kessler. And the Discap Sunday Tag League Stonykill Flex Warm-Up had a tie for third at +5, Cody Conine and Dennis Daly. Second place at +4, Logan Akins. And your winner at +3, Kyle Moore. And just a note on that, I heard from Mike Zancelli, he hit 50 tag rounds, only 20-something more to break Cranky's record. So I don't know if that was his 50th, but he didn't place, so it wasn't memorable. So with all that, we don't have a certified Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Week. Well, nobody placed more than twice. So we got 4 players that all scored 6 points and a lot of ties. Kyle Moore got 6 points. He tied for first at Prospect Park Doubles, and he won at Discap Sunday Tag League, the Stonykill Flex Warm-Up. Joe Jaskoka also had 6 points. He tied for first at Prospect Park Dubs, and he tied for first at Stonykill Random Dubs. Kyle Lumsden scored 6 points. He won at Bridgeport Monday Dubs and Kisco Tuesday Dubs. And Bobby Hallam had the best raw score at CTK Singles League, and he tied for first at CPS Thursday Dub. And honorable mention, Jamin Hume won the ElectriCity Classic.
But only one thing.
But it's, worth more than dubs.
It's a pretty big thing.
Yeah. I don't know if it's worth 2 dubs, though. That's the question.
I'd put it in between 1 and 2 dubs. I think that's what a C tier would be.
Yeah, it's notable. Definitely notable. All right. I got Skip Ace, but...
We'll just do that next week.
Yeah, that was the Ledgestone?
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Sounds
All right,
right.
so we'll do that next week because we've also got the Idlewild closes in 3 days. So if you haven't gotten your picks in like myself, now is the time to do so. Well, yeah, if you're listening to this, then it is definitely too late. But you guys want to do a quiz?
Yep.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Jason, you good for a quiz?
Yeah, man.
All right. What do you guys want to do for teams? Last week it was the Warwick versus not Warwick.
Yeah, who didn't play ElectriCity? Is it 3v1 still? Or 3v2?
I think it's just
3v2.
Jason and you.
Well, there you go.
That would work.
Sorry,
Jason,
Randy.
you feeling up for that?
Yeah, sure. So this is Greenville Dubs versus
yeah.
City.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. And Greenville, because you got 2, you get to go first. I got 3 categories here. So what category would you guys like Greenville, 1, 2, or 3?
What do you want, Randy?
I feel like you pick 1 a lot. We can go with 1.
I do 1. Yeah.
Category 1?
Yep.
All right. Question 1, Category 1. Slaughtering demons in outer space was the goal with what first-person shooter by ID Software that came out on DOS in 1993? Slaughtering demons in outer space was the goal with what first-person shooter by ID Software that came out on DOS in 1993?
I was thinking Doom, but wasn't that in Hell?
It's definitely Doom. No, it was like hell opened up on like a Mars like colony.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Doom, right?
I'm going with Doom. Yep.
Is the Doom a disc?
I'm thinking like Doomsday, but that's like obvious.
I'm thinking it is.
I'm leaning towards whether that's influencing me or not.
Let's go yeah.
You agree, Jason?
Yes.
I'm sorry, no.
Ooh.
All right. ElectriCity, what do you guys want? What category? 1, 2, or 3?
I'm not against using 1, but we can try 2 or 3 if one of you guys like one of those numbers.
Yeah, I'm literally happy with whatever we want to do on this one.
Jamie?
Wait, that's my answer. Let's go with 3.
Sure.
All right. Question 1, Category 3. In baseball, if you hit a single, double, triple, and home run in one game, that is known as hitting for what? In baseball, if you hit a single, double, triple, and home run in one game, that is known as hitting for what?
The
For
cycle.
the cycle.
I was going to say the fence.
If you're swinging for the fences, that's probably just a home run.
You guys should talk this out more.
Yeah, sure, the cycle.
Is the cycle a disc?
Yep, because of course it is.
It
I like
very
it.
much feels like a disc.
You agree, Jamin?
Yep.
I'm sorry, no. Dang it.
Oh.
Sorry, what was that, Pat? You cut out real quick. Did you say yes?
No. Sorry.
What category was that? I
That was
grazed
3.
it.
So 2 is out, so it's just
Oh,
1 or
okay.
3 now. Let me make sure to gray that out. Okay. Greenville, 1 or 3?
I don't have any clues yet, so Doom or Cycle.
I think we stick with 1.
Let's go 1.
All right. Question 2, Category 1. What is the name of the post-apocalyptic video game franchise known for its open-world exploration, role-playing elements, and a setting where nuclear war has devastated the world?
Is that,
What is the name of the post-apocalyptic video game franchise known for its open-world exploration, role-playing elements, and a setting where nuclear war has devastated the world?
I haven't played it, but Fallout is similar, right?
Yep, that sounds like Fallout.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Is the Fallout a disc?
I want to say yeah, because like Doomsday would
I
maybe
know.
pick that up.
Yeah. And it kind of has like the play on words with disc golf too, like Fall Out of the Sky. I don't know. I could go either way, honestly. What are you leaning towards?
I like it. Yeah, I want to go with it.
All right, let's go to disc.
I'm sorry, no.
Damn.
Oh no.
ElectriCity, 1 or 3?
I vote 1 again. Overrule me.
Okay.
You want to go to 1?
As soon as Alex takes his mic off mute.
People responded, and it sounded like they were responding to me. And I'm thank you. Yes, I wanted to go to 1.
Yes.
All right. Question 3, Category 1. What groundbreaking dark fantasy first-person shooter released in 1996 helped popularize the genre? What groundbreaking dark fantasy first-person shooter released in 1996 helped popularize the genre?
Shit. Dark.
Did I hear it one more time?
What groundbreaking dark fantasy first-person shooter released in 1996 helped popularize the genre?
Quake? I'm trying to think like, what would be dark fantasy.
Yeah, it could
That sounds
be
like Quake. I forgot about Quake.
Yeah.
I'm trying
it's
to think
gotta be
late
Quake.
1990s. I don't know if it's the first Quake. Well, he said Doom was 93.
And Quake was definitely after Doom.
It definitely was, but you say 96, right? Or 97?
Yes.
Either
96.
way, 3 or 4
Yeah.
years. Is
That fits the timeline.
the dark fantasy part really throws me off. But I'm trying to think like what would even be a dark fantasy shooter back then if I'm thinking like mages.
I think with the groundbreaking pun, I think
Yeah.
Quake is a very high likeliness.
I like it. It's also a disc.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
groundbreaking. I was just thinking groundbreaking as and Quake was pretty big, but also Quake.
I think it's both. Yeah.
I didn't even
Good.
think about that.
Pickup, Alex.
Yeah, I say
Maybe.
Quake.
Yeah, I'm happy
I like
with Quake.
Is the Quake a disc?
It definitely is.
PDGA.
Yeah.
Disc Golf Association, March 8th, 2017. God, somebody caught the groundbreaking. Greenville, 1 or 3?
I feel like we should stick with 1.
I like 1.
Yeah.
All right. Question 4, Category 1. What classic Nintendo game series features an elite mercenary team of anthropomorphic animals known for their daring space adventures and battles against the evil Andross? What classic Nintendo game series features an elite mercenary team of anthropomorphic animals known for their daring space adventures and battles against the evil Andross?
Is that like Star Fox?
Star Fox. Yep.
You guys go with that?
Yep.
Yep.
Is the Star Fox a disc?
We have been wrong
Oh my
on
God.
better disc names.
I know. You got Starfire. You got Also, probably some kind of blank fox, Star Fox.
Can I just say, when I was really new, I thought Star Destroyer was the full name of the disc because I thought that was a sick name.
Yeah, like the full from Star Wars.
Yeah. But anyways, I hate Star Fox, but only because Doom and Fallout weren't.
Yeah, oh my God. I feel I'm going to feel stupid if we say yeah and it isn't. I'd rather say it isn't and zig when he zags and get it wrong, if that makes sense.
Sure. Let's zig.
All right, we're going to say
Let's
no.
say no.
You are correct.
All right.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, ElectriCity, what do you got?
I select one.
It's been good so far.
All right, Alex, you good?
He's muted.
Yep.
All right. Question 5, Category 1. The term Zerg or Zerging to defeat an enemy with overwhelming numbers originated in what Blizzard game from 1998? The term
StarCraft.
Zerg or Zerging
Sorry.
to defeat an enemy with overwhelming numbers originated in what Blizzard game from 1998?
I think you and Jason really are the same people because we've gone through so many episodes of everyone sticking to the script and then back-to-back weeks of back-to-back questions, actually. Yeah, StarCraft.
Yep.
Is the StarCraft a disc?
If Star Fox wasn't, kind of makes me want to say StarCraft is, but
It can't be, right?
I don't like it as a name.
It's another one of those things where it feels like this is, like a copyrighted name that they can't possibly profit off it. But I mean, Star Trek. So
like StarCraft just seems like a really bad name.
yeah,
Isn't it the name of a boat as well?
A craft,
Like a starship?
maybe.
No, like a brand, like a manufacturer, like StarCraft.
oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I gotta think no on this one, but
I'm definitely leaning no.
Well, I have no input then. It's no.
XUFO Ace Mold Company Limited, July 25th, 2024.
Probably
They have
after the boat.
is StarCraft and to Star Trek?
I got it tied at 4?
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Okay, cool. Greenville.
So we keep going one.
Yeah, let's close that one.
All right, final question, Category 1. Set in a futuristic Earth, what team-based multiplayer shooter features a diverse cast of heroes with abilities ranging from teleportation to ice creation? Set in a futuristic Earth, what team-based multiplayer shooter features a diverse cast of heroes with abilities ranging from teleportation to ice creation?
Oh, that's a game that I've never played it, but I know what it is. It's
I have 1,000% played this, and my mind is empty right now, fighting all the urges to tab into Steam right now.
oh my God, I can't think of this. It's the dude to get in all the trouble for the crypto guy was like made fun of for playing it all the time and spending so much money on it.
Should we make sure we're talking about the same game right now before we?
Is it League of Legends?
No, I don't think it's League of Legends. It's the first person one with like you got like big tanky guys that like make big shields. I forget his name. This is awful. His name's like Lionheart or something like that. And then there's like a guy who's a robot turret, and I played him because he's wicked janky and like, oh, what is the name of this game? Do you at least know the game I'm talking about?
I do. I've never played it.
Oh my God, I played the hell out of it for like the first season of competitive play, and then I completely stopped after. I don't want to say League of Legends. It's not League of Legends.
No, I'm not going to be able to come up with it for you. What did you play it on? PC?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Could you repeat the question?
Set in a futuristic Earth, what team-based multiplayer shooter features a diverse cast of heroes with abilities ranging from teleportation to ice creation?
There was a lady in like a mech thing. There was a lady in all fur, thick clothing who shot ice. I'm going to lose my mind. I can't believe I can't think of the name of this game right now. There was like a ninja who could like get all over the place. There was a guy with rollerblades and he was fast. And that was like the whole thing. That was it. I hated him.
I didn't hear the question, and just listening to you ramble is not helping me.
I feel like Alex knows it, so
I think he does. I
know the game you're describing, and I'm not sure if it's the right answer.
Oh, well, I really want to know the name of that game that I'm trying to think of right now. I got nothing. Do we say League of Legends just in case?
Yeah, I mean, I never played League of Legends either, but
League of Legends is a horrible disc name, by the way. It's definitely a one-word answer.
right.
It's
Oh yeah, so what discs are there?
just name all the discs so Pat can't interrupt us.
T-Bird, Thunderbird.
Anything?
No.
Yeah.
Don't shout at Alex. I want to hear
All
the question again before you do.
Fair.
All right, you guys got nothing?
Wait, League of Legends.
All right. I would have given you that if I would have taken that. Set in a futuristic Earth, what team-based multiplayer shooter features a diverse cast of heroes with abilities ranging from teleportation to ice creation for ElectriCity?
What you
Teleportation.
got, Corey?
Well, first I was going to say Overwatch.
Ah!
There you go.
I also just went back to my desktop and just, it was right there.
Is that what you were describing, Randy?
It's definitely what it was describing.
Or I was going to say, I can't think of that one now, but yeah, Overwatch.
Yeah, I had 3 potential answers. I'm thinking Overwatch is probably the right one.
What was the other one?
It also could have been Team Fortress 2 and possibly Unreal Tournament, but I don't think Unreal Tournament really fits it.
Well, what is the other stupid freaking Battle Royale game?
Fortnite?
Apex Legends. That would not be the answer.
It's not going to be Apex now.
No, yeah, I say Overwatch.
I think Overwatch is the right answer.
Go with that, Jamin?
Muted on your headset?
I am. Sorry, there's some asshole drag racing.
Yeah,
It's Corey.
guys will hear that and just be like, hell yeah.
I had some fireworks earlier, so kind of same thing.
I agree with Overwatch. I also forgot that Unreal Tournament exists. This has been a nice blast from the past.
Is the Overwatch a disc?
Maybe. I don't think it is.
The last time I said it couldn't be, and it was.
No, it definitely is.
Definitely is?
Yeah.
You've got one in the Lost and Found right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's got Dan
Perfect.
Ferry's
All right.
name on
It's
it.
a disc. It's Harry Lehman's throwing it. Of course it's a disc. It's exactly what it would do, too, because he throws weird shit.
You agree, Alex?
I'm fine with yep.
STM Disc Golf, January 16th, 2023.
Yeah, I could have told you that. Sorry, Pat.
Harry
Sorry for
Lehman
making you read it
sponsored
off.
by STM Disc Golf.
And that was a steal, put you up 6-4, and you get the next question. Question 2, category 3. If a light bulb shines after you wire it to a switch and battery, you've made a closed what? If a light bulb shines after you wire it to a switch and battery, you've made a closed what?
I thought for sure Jamin was going to cut you off again on that one. Circuit.
Yeah, it sounds like a circuit to me.
Yep.
Is the circuit a disc?
Yep, MVP disc.
It's not
No,
an
it's
MVP
not.
disc.
Are you sure they didn't just come out with one?
I'm not sure they didn't just come out with
They're
one.
not talking about it on Discord?
It would be very weird if they came out with a circuit when they have the circuit challenge as like their 3-disc challenge. So I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but it's not likely.
All right, well, I say yes. You guys can...
It could be a different company.
Oh, yeah, let's go with yes.
If
Harry
you're
throws
feeling it, I'm fine with yes.
I'm sorry, no.
No, I wasn't feeling it that much, Alex.
7-4?
Yeah.
All right. Question 3, category 3 for Greenville. In music, what term is used to describe the distance and pitch between two tones? In music, what term is used to describe the distance and pitch between two tones?
Scale, but it doesn't. I was thinking of a different theme.
I don't know. I don't want to start listing off musical terms.
Why not? The more you name, the more confused the other team can get.
Is it pitch?
Wait, say the question again. That was in the question.
In music, what term is used to describe the distance and pitch between two tones?
He said pitch. I don't know. Notes.
Something tells me Jamin knows this.
Maybe he'll overthink it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I was thinking scale, but the scale is kind of like a group of notes, right? What's the difference between?
Yeah, I always think of a scale as like a run of notes.
It could be like an A scale.
No, I guess that would be a key. So maybe it is scale.
Oh.
Scale, I think, is the best thing we've thought of, at least.
Yeah, I was thinking there was a theme with the other two words that doesn't really fit in, but I can't think of anything else.
No, I can just start saying like chord is another word that's a combination of notes. I hate this. I don't know. I guess scale.
Go scale?
Sure. Send it.
Scale.
What do you got, ElectriCity?
Interval.
Ugh.
I sure don't want to hear the question again, Jamin.
I don't want to interrupt it.
I'm going with Jamin.
Alex, you good with that?
I'm muted. Yay. Just for reference, this is all you guys' fault because I started muting myself so you guys wouldn't hear my keyboard.
I like your keyboard.
Yeah, your keyboard goes great with all the 90s video game questions we're getting.
Overwatch is not a 90s video game.
Oh.
My thought was range, but if Jamin says interval, it's probably more correct.
Range would be like the lowest note to the highest note that an instrument can play. An interval is like a major second or a minor third. It's the distance in between two pitches.
Makes sense to me.
Is the interval a disc?
It doesn't feel like a good disc name.
What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, of course it is.
I was hoping you guys would agree on something so I didn't have to think.
Never.
Corey was right last time, right? It was a terrible disc name, but it was a disc.
Well, 2 times ago.
2 times ago?
A circuit was not a disc.
Oh, okay. All right.
We thought it was.
Okay. I'm going to go with Alex on this one.
So no?
I don't know what Alex said.
He
I said no. Yeah.
No.
Finish line discs, August 21st, 2023.
Come on, Alex.
Dude, I have been way off with these.
So real quick, before the next question, we had Seal last week.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and researched, and we did do seal with it was seal or seal for Pokemon. Was it a Pokemon?
Oh,
or
that
not?
makes sense.
And I was gonna put the clip in, but apparently, and this rarely happens. I mean, I've had many screw ups doing this, but apparently, when I was hitting the clips to play Josh Wynn, I hit pause and I missed a question. Like, we actually did a question while we were paused on the recording, so I didn't have audio of it, so I couldn't insert it in there. So I just lost the time. I should have taken notes. There was another. Jason, what was the one that you had pointed out?
Transformer versus rectifier.
Yeah, what was the question? It was like something that converts AC to DC.
Yeah, so a transformer changes voltage. So if you have an AC circuit that's at, say, 1,000 volts, you can use a transformer to make that 500 volts or 2,000 volts. You can go up or down. If you want to convert AC to DC, then you have to use a rectifier, which uses diodes to basically filter out the waves and make it a solid.
So I was kind of close. I knew there's a diode in there somewhere.
I said that just because you mentioned diode, and it's like probably the closest one. A rectifier does have diodes in it.
Yeah. Sometimes there's more than one answer even for a question. So I try to keep an open mind on that kind of stuff. I would assume, like, if you were here that night, we might have been able to do some research and figured it out. So, but nobody got it right. So, no harm, no foul. That puts it, I got 8-5 ElectriCity. Does that sound right? And it's their question?
Sounds right.
I had 8-4, but I also might have.
I said 5. It is 8-4. I do have 8-4. You're right.
Okay.
I'll say it sounds right again.
All right. So ElectriCity, question 4, category 3. What downtown area of Chicago is named for the rectangle formed by its elevated train track? What downtown area of Chicago is named for the rectangle formed by its elevated train track?
I do not know.
Is that the Triangle District?
I think there's 4 points, right?
I'm making stuff up.
What was the last answer?
Interval, circuit, and cycle all feel like, electric-y answers in general.
Cycle, circuit, interval. Can you ask the question again, Pat, please?
What downtown area of Chicago is named for the rectangle formed by its elevated train track?
Yikes. This one could be kind of hard to pull out of your ass without knowing the actual answer. A rectangle. It's not called the box district, right?
I mean, I would think not, but maybe.
Can't think of anything that would.
This feels like the setting of like every 90s sitcom too. Like, oh yeah, train goes by every night. Is this not where Seinfeld set in place?
New York City.
Oh, really? They have trains there. No. I have no idea.
I've got nothing.
Yeah. What's a boxy electric-y term?
Yeah, right. I can't even think of that. I'm just thinking of places in Chicago. The only thing I can think of is Wrigleyville.
Receptacle.
I'm just trying to think of electrical terms that make sense with a rectangle.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm really coming up with is switch, but that doesn't really make sense.
It makes sense more than nothing.
Shit. I don't know. My guess is box.
Yeah, I got nothing. If anybody's a little bit confident with their answer, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
We'll go in with box then, Pat.
Sure.
What do you got, Greenville?
Have you ever been to Chicago?
Nope.
Me neither.
South Side. That's all I got. What train do people take in there? Do they take the L train or something? It's nothing. None of these are electrical answers.
No.
I thought you might have an electrical answer on.
I'm trying to think of electrical terms.
Is it like loop? Because it's like a rectangle, so you can take it in
loop.
A giant circle.
Loop sounds like it could fit the theme and be tied in with trains.
That's all I got.
Trying to think of other terms.
What are the things that switch the... No. They said switch.
I did like
already.
switch too. But when he said rectangular shape, I guess the switch could be a rectangle.
Is it like crossover? I'm trying to think of trains going around. What's the most electrical term you got?
Sinusoidal.
Golly.
No, I have no idea. I'm thinking pulse, but nothing really is fits the question box. What other synonyms for circuit are there? Loop's good.
Loop is all I got on that, yeah.
They had cycle, interval. Those are kind of frequency dependent. It's hertz. I feel like I'm getting farther from an answer.
I think so too.
Let's go loop.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go loop.
Is the loop a disc?
Oh my goodness.
Nice work.
I don't believe that one. All right.
So is a loop a disc?
I'm a sucker for short names. I feel like loop's a good disc name, but at the same time, what is a loop?
Man, I just got a lasso the other day because it kind of like my last name, but
That's fun.
loop will work. I say yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
Supersonic Discs, May 10th, 2024.
Nice.
Let's go.
8-6. And that was a steal.
Yeah.
We're back.
All right, we can
Kind of.
catch them.
All right, question 5, category 3. Usually measured at about 9 inches, what is the 4-letter term for the distance from the end of the thumb to the end of the pinky of a spread hand? Usually measured at about 9 inches, what is the 4-letter term for the distance from the end of the thumb to the end of the pinky of a spread hand?
This isn't an engineering measurement you use all the time. All right. Call me crazy. Octave, like on a piano, like you can press the same note in each octave in that with your pinky and your thumb. That's all I got.
Can you say the question again, Pat?
Usually measured at about 9 inches, what is the 4-letter term for the distance from the end of the thumb to the end of the pinky of a spread hand?
I mean, I don't like it, but I'm not going to come up with anything better than that.
No, I don't. Do you know an electrical themed engineering term for like measuring a distance, a short distance, or a train? Are these all train terms? Are these not electrical?
They're not quite electrical. It's cycle is, circuit is, interval not so much. Loop is, circuit, cycle. Oh, maybe these are like racetrack, kind of like a bike race thing.
Oh my God. It could, oh man. Yeah. It could be racing instead.
It would be like spread.
Yeah. It could be spread or like gap. Oh no.
So the other one's like pace, gap, spread. I was thinking spread because you have to like spread your hand.
Oh yeah. That's pretty basic. Okay.
And there's
I'm on
like
board with that.
arm span, finger span. Duh.
In like a race, there's like the interval and there's like another measurement I would post on the scoreboard, whatever, like the lap times to show like the difference between each individual versus like the difference between first and that person. I can't think of the word. It's interval and something else.
Like pace, gap.
Spread works. It's the spread between your fingers.
I like spread.
All right, let's go with it.
You like spread for the 4-letter term?
Oh, wait, 4 letters?
Oh God, no, wait, hold on.
All right, let's back up. Pace.
I didn't listen at all. None of the words we said were 4 letters. Like none of them, I don't think.
I was wondering if you guys were going to notice that.
No, pace. Pace is like a step, though, right? That's not really a measurement of your hand. I think other race ones.
I don't know.
5 seconds. I gave you a big enough hint.
Oh my God. Are we going to say pace?
Do you have any 4 other?
No, I don't. Just say pace, whatever.
Pace.
Picante sauce? What do you got, ElectriCity?
I think it's span.
Oh, span.
Oh man.
What the fuck?
Are you confident, or do I have to ask Pat to read the question again? Because I got lost along that way.
I wouldn't mind hearing the question again, but I am pretty confident.
Usually measured at about 9 inches, what is the 4-letter term for the distance from the end of the thumb to the end of the pinky of a spread hand?
And he had spread in the question, too.
Wow, we didn't listen at all.
Span? Are you sure it's not just the word size?
I do like span.
Span it is.
You guys good?
Yep.
I think so.
Is the span a disc?
Nope.
I'm not even thinking about it. Corey, you got this one. I'm happy with no.
Okay, same.
You are correct.
Yes, I'm back, baby. Alex is asking me for the disc or no disc questions.
I don't know. I haven't been on my game with those for a while now.
Man, I said finger span, too.
Yeah, no, we like blew it so hard on that one.
That would seem like a round 1 question, Pat. We were thinking that.
But you didn't get it, so. So for a victory lap, ElectriCity, what word can be used to describe a model of Dodge or a classic TV series about the Carringtons who might be chauffeured in one? What word can be used to describe a model of Dodge or a classic TV series about the Carringtons who might be chauffeured in one?
I don't know who the Carringtons are.
Me neither. Chauffeured in one, though, so a big...
Just start listing off types of Dodges, Corey.
But do we have an idea what the fucking theme is? Loop, span, interval, circuit, cycle...
Oh, is it caravan?
The Carringtons don't seem like the way that he asked that question. It sounds like they were like wealthy, and I can't think of a wealthy family that would get caught in a Dodge Caravan. But a Grand Wait, do they have Grand Caravans, or is that just Grand Cherokees? Yeah, Caravan, Pat.
You guys good with that?
Yeah,
sure.
What do you got, Greenville?
Oh,
It's like electrical theme. Why isn't it Charger? Dodge Charger, right? No? What else is there? Jason?
It's a Dodge?
What word can be used to describe a model of Dodge or a classic TV series about the Carringtons who might be chauffeured in one?
Oh, it's a TV series?
The show is named this word, which I've lost all confidence at this
Wait,
point.
are they being chauffeured in this word, or is the TV series the word?
Both.
Both.
It's a model of Dodge with the same name as a TV series that they might be chauffeured in.
I'm thinking like Jetsons or something.
Thinking the Dukes of Hazzard right now.
See, I think you might be throwing us off that it's maybe not a Dodge. Like it's a Dodge vehicle, but then the show is something they're chauffeured in that may not be a Dodge.
No, it is. It would be.
No, I
It
don't
is?
think he's.
Okay.
It's a model of Dodge that the people in the TV series named after the model of Dodge could be chauffeured in.
Am I just crazy thinking it's Charger solely based on the category?
I would be assuming you had the category right.
I already discussed 3 different categories in the last one while thinking about non-4-letter words.
So you're saying there's a show called Charger where people...
I don't know.
I mean, Charger is a Dodge.
Now, I would not want to be chauffeured in one, so that's why I don't love it. But like,
You could get Ubered.
I don't know. You could.
I wouldn't call that chauffeured.
I give you a hint. This car you could not be Ubered in anymore.
Oh, that's not better.
It just means it's not around.
I get it.
It's perfect for Corey to own, but not to drive for Uber.
To Dodge Omni.
Dodge Challenger.
No, they still make that. I don't even know what we had from the last time we had a category that was similar to this. I'm like totally struggling. Old Dodge cars.
All right. Where's there? Cycle, circuit, interval, loop, span. Is it like track?
Tracker? That sounds more like a car name.
It's a
Is that a
Chevy.
car?
Not going to work.
Oh, fuck.
Is there like a Pacer?
It's a bad way to end the show.
Sure is. Plymouth.
No, that's another manufacturer.
All right. It's I'm in like no help mode right now. I don't think I'm going to come up with anything else.
Nope.
I'll give you one last hint because it doesn't matter for the final result. They're just periods of time. They're just segments of time.
Oh my God.
hint. Like a cycle,
Yeah.
circuit, interval,
Is there like a
loop.
So is there like a
span.
Dodge Century?
So intervals of time, second, minute.
Century is what I was thinking.
Is that a show?
I don't know, but it sounds good. It's like a marketable car name. Dodge Century sounds great. I've never heard of it. I'm going with it.
Okay, you go with it.
We were looking for Dynasty.
Isn't that show called Duck Dynasty?
This is a different show.
Can't wait for you to edit that.
January 31st, 2022.
Dodge Dynasty. Oh, yeah.
Classic Dodge.
88 to 93, Corey, right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, what was this also sold as? Oh, a New Yorker. Yeah. Wait, what? Anyways. It's not really. Wikipedia page says it's related to a Chrysler New Yorker. They're vastly different vehicles.
All right. Well, thank you, Alex, Randy, Corey, Jason, and congratulations again, Jamin.
Thank you.
Woo.
Tweet up Hudson Valley.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, that started off right then with a nice UC crack.
Euchre Club. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking University Center.
I had my party last weekend, so I bought some UCs for myself because it was a special occasion. I wasn't going to just drink regular PBRs. And then one of my buddies showed up with a 12-pack of bottles, and I'm like, looks like you just churched up the joint a little bit. Looks like I'm switching to bottles.
They make that in bottles?
They do, yeah. Yep. It's funny, you can't buy it in a 30-pack, though. They don't sell it in 30 packs, only suitcases, 24 packs, and 12 packs. Unless you're buying pounders, and they got 6 packs of pounders.
What's that?
The 16-ounce cans.
Yeah.
Why do they call them that?
Because
never mind, 16 ounces. When I hear pound and beer, I'm thinking, like, what are they, smaller so that you can drink them quicker?
Oh, like those little fucking Coronita things, like those people that can't drink beer fast enough, then it gets warm too fast. So they drink little, what are they, 6.5 or 6 or 8 ounce Corona bottles.